Hey everyone, Faster here, and this video is going to be about emergency braking again because it's so important. So I released a video talking about there's a GoPro right here attached to my mirror so you can see my hand. I made another video just recently about the top 3 mistakes people make. Number 1 is way too much rear. Number 2, not enough front. And number 3, looking down. Those are the top 3 mistakes. Of course, there's more after that. So I'm going to demonstrate what those top 3 mistakes look like, and then I'm going to demonstrate each belt of MotoJitsu, the braking drills. Just to let everybody know, I took off the traction control and the ABS. So if your bike is able to do that, I recommend taking the ABS off, all the computer, all the technology off, just to rely on your technique. It's always technique over technology. So you tell me if you can notice, of course you'll be able to, the top 3 mistakes. Not enough or too much rear, not enough front, eyes looking down. Check it out. So 20 miles per hour, what happened? What's like the 2 tennis balls down there is when I started to brake. And then the first tennis ball is 15 feet, then you have 18 feet, then you have 25. So I slammed on the rear brake and I skidded. Look how long I skidded. Almost the entire length. And obviously I stopped eventually, but that's not gonna stop you fast. So imagine the 2 tennis balls, or whenever you begin to brake, that's the beginning of an intersection and a car just blew through it. If that's the only thing you know how to do is slam on the brake, you're gonna slide right into the car. Look how long I slid. That's 25 feet. This is probably close to 35 feet at 20 miles per hour, which is insane. So that's number 1, way too much rear. Number 2, I reached up and I touched the front brake, but I barely did anything. I didn't continuously squeeze it like you're supposed to. And of course, I'm looking straight down at the ground. So I'm just gonna demonstrate now. Same speed at 20 miles per hour, but I'll do everything correctly. Check it out. Now, once I pass the 2 tennis balls, I'm going 20 miles per hour again, same speed, right? Nice and loose, everything roll off. So roll off the throttle. You start off with a little bit of rear brake, but then you taper off. And once you get on the front brake, so come over here to my hand. You're going 20 miles per hour, you roll off the throttle, very important, and you reach up and you squeeze 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. You start off with a little bit of the rear. So look at my foot. So my foot's here. I start off on the rear and then you taper off. You taper off the rear brake as you're going more and more and more with the front. Of course, your eyes are straight until you stop. If you notice at the very end of the stop, my rear wheel came off the ground. In Total Control Edition 2 by Lee Parks in the braking chapter, if you're doing a 1-foot high stoppie at the end of a stop, that can save you a couple feet of forward momentum because the energy has to go somewhere of me moving, and I'd rather have it go up a little bit versus forward and I just hit the kid or the car, right? So there's the correct demonstration. It takes you thousands and thousands of repetitions to be able to do that when you're not expecting it, right? So if you don't practice this continually, if I don't do anything with braking and I wait a month, I'm not gonna be as good as what I just did. You gotta constantly do this. So now, just for fun, I'm gonna demonstrate each belt. So white belt is 20 miles per hour, less than 25 feet. Okay, check it out. Smooth increasing pressure on the front brake. Your eyes are straight at the horizon until you come to a stop. And like you notice, whenever I come to a stop, I hardly ever put my right foot down. I do eventually, but if this is a stop sign, I keep my foot on the right brake, hold the rear brake down, everything is good. I'm checking my mirrors to make sure stupid is actually stopping, everything is good, then I just take off. But I almost never put my right foot down normally, okay? So there's white belt. Blue belt, same 20 miles per hour, but now I have to stop less than 18 feet. Check it out. again, the technique is the same. I don't care what kind of bike you have. I don't care what kind of technology you have. If they're integrated brakes, if they're integral, linked brakes, the same damn technique. Because the technique is so important, don't rely on the technology. These bikes, my bike has integral brakes. So if I apply the front brake, a little bit of power automatically goes to the rear, right? So you would think, oh, I don't even have to use the rear. Well, what if the technology fails? I better know what I'm doing. So it's always technique. Learn the damn technique. And this is the same technique even in the dirt. In MotoVenture's Dirt First Level 2, you do emergency braking, and this is the same technique. Increasing pressure on the front, taper off the rear, keep your eyes up. So there's blue belt. Now for brown belt, 25 miles per hour, stopping less than 18 feet. So the faster you're going and the technique remains the same. The only thing that changes is the quickness at which I'm squeezing the brake. So for white belt and blue belt, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. When I get up to brown belt like I just did and you're going a little bit faster, you just increase the speed at which you squeeze. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 90, 100. Remember, if you go from 10, 20, 100, if you don't do all the numbers and you grab the brake, you can flip over the handlebars. I've seen so many students do that right in front of me. They grab that front brake and they go flipping right in front of me. Or if they're on a cruiser and it's not possible that they flip over, they lock up the front tire and they crash. So if the front tire starts to skid, let go of the brake, allow the tire to keep on rolling, and then reapply the brakes. If the rear tire skids, you got to slowly ease off the brake. That's the technique. Now for black belt, 25 miles per hour, less than 15 feet. Same thing, 10, 20, 30, 40, 60, 70, 90, 100. You squeeze a little bit faster. So with the other videos I made about emergency braking, watching my hand, and the top 3 mistakes, and now this video, I hope to give you a better idea of every angle you can think of, except for like a drone, of me doing emergency braking. And again, the point is to not see every little thing I'm doing. The point is for you to go do it. Go out and practice this stuff. Because in my opinion, if you can't even stop at a blue belt level, I don't know why you're on the public roads, because you're setting yourself up for failure. You should be able to stop the damn bike. And it's your responsibility to learn how to do it and then practice it. And not just practice it so you could do it, say you do this 10 times. If you can't do it 9, 10 times in a row without jacking up, you're not good enough. Be able to do it 10 times, 9 times in a row, and then move on to the next belt. Otherwise, you don't have it mastered yet. So just like always, shut up and practice, and let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.